Hello, and here on my channel, you know what I talk about. I am in my brother's greenhouse. I'm in
HI besties. You are listing Coravanta Tash Floor, a self-proclaimed Hollywood truth-teller, begins by recapping her previous episode on Taylor Swift's new album and the alleged feud with Blake Lively. She claims Lively's team is aggressively planting stories with outlets like E! News and TMZ to deny any songs on Swift's album are about her. Floor highlights the contrast with People magazine, which she says is torn between supporting Lively and siding with Swift. She notes that Swift's camp has deliberately leaked to People that the two are not speaking, a move to discredit Lively's planted stories. Floor also points out the Mean Girls Day Easter egg, as Swift's album is set to be released on October 3rd, the same date referenced in the iconic film. The main focus of the episode, however, is a massive document dump on October 14th by Blake Lively's legal team. Floor argues that this move, intended to prove a smear campaign against Lively, has backfired spectacularly. She claims the overwhelming number of texts and emails reveal the opposite. They show Justin Baldoni's team was frantically trying to defend him from a smear campaign orchestrated by Lively. Floor then delves into a specific email from Justin Baldoni dated January 2, 2024. Baldoni describes his torment after Lively presented a safety letter/accusation, which he claims was an act of blackmail. He says she used this letter to gain power over the whole production, holding it hostage. He expresses his fear of working with her and asks for emotional and spiritual support. Floor emphasizes that this email, included by Lively's own lawyers, proves Baldoni was the victim, not the aggressor. She questions why Lively's team would file such a damning piece of evidence, suggesting it's either a gross legal error or an attempt to make it look like Baldoni signed the letter willingly, implying his guilt. Floor next analyzes a text chain about Ryan Reynolds rewriting a rooftop scene for the film. She claims that during the WGA strike, Lively boasted about her husband's work, which could be considered an act of a scab. The text messages show Baldoni's team discussing how to use this information to their advantage. They saw it as a powerful counter-narrative, exposing the hypocrisy of Reynolds, who presents himself as a feminist but overrode a female writer's work. Floor agrees with this strategy, calling the rooftop scene so bad and a cliché, and speculates that its poor quality is a direct result of Reynolds's rewriting. She notes that Vulture picked up the story but that the WGA has not taken action against Reynolds, which she sees as a frustrating double standard. The discussion then moves to other evidence from the document dump, including a TMZ story that claimed Lively felt a kissing scene lingered too long, and that Baldoni fat-shamed her. Floor asserts that this story was obviously planted by Lively's team, and that the text messages prove Baldoni's team was simply reacting to it. She also addresses the so-called HR complaints, allegedly from Jenny Slate and Lively herself, regarding sexy comments. Floor claims that Lively was the one who introduced the word sexy to the set, and that she later used it to fabricate a hostile work environment claim. Floor reiterates that all the evidence shows Baldoni and his team were only trying to defend themselves, not launch a smear campaign. She concludes that the document dump, despite its intended purpose, actually proves Baldoni's claims of being under attack. Finally, Floor reports on some good news regarding Judge Lyman. She claims the judge has finally taken notice of the doxing carried out by Lively's legal team, who have been publicly releasing people's private information, including email addresses, phone numbers, and even pictures of Perez Hilton's children. Floor notes that the judge has ordered them to refile the documents with the private information redacted. She sees this as a positive sign that the judge is beginning to see the unfair and unprofessional tactics being used by Lively's side. Floor ends the segment by expressing her hope that the judge will continue to act fairly and promises to keep her audience updated on the case. Thanks for watching. Subscribe my channel Coraventa.